Everyone talks about becoming a millionaire. It sounds cool, it looks good on a podcast clip, and it gives you a fantasy to chase. But if you're a normal person with rent, bills, and a life that randomly punches you in the face, the first milestone that actually changes your life isn't $1 million. It's the first 10,000. And I know what you're thinking. 10,000 isn't rich. 10,000 buy you a dream house. 10,000 doesn't make you a mogul. But it does something way more important than flexing. It changes how you breathe. It changes how you sleep. It changes how you move through the world, because you stop living one surprise expense from disaster. Financial hardship is strongly associated with insomnia risk and poorer sleep outcomes, and ongoing financial strain has been linked with sleep disturbances in research. Here's the real secret. Money doesn't only buy things. Money buys options. And the first 10,000 is the moment you buying options instead of buying temporary comfort. Most people in what I call defense mode. Defense mode is when life feels like a video game where you're always blocking. Your entire strategy is don't get hit. Don't get hit by a car repair. Don't get hit by a broken phone. Don't get hit by a random bill. Don't get by your boss having a bad week and deciding you're not a fit. And when you're in defense mode, you make money decisions like a person being chased. Fast, emotional, short-term, and usually expensive. This is where the psychology matters. When money is tight, it's not just your wallet that gets smaller. Your mental bandwidth gets smaller too. Scarcity pulls your attention into the urgent, and it taxes your ability to plan, focus, and make good long-term decisions. That's not motivational talk. That's a real idea studied by behavioral researchers. Scarcity consumes mental resources that could have been used for better choices. So what does the first 10,000 actually do? It doesn't make you rich. It makes you stable. It creates a buffer between and chaos. It turns a crisis into an inconvenience. When your car breaks, you don't spiral. When you need to replace a laptop, you don't go into debt. When something goes wrong, you don't have to borrow from your future at crazy interest rates. That buffer is why even relatively small emergency savings are associated with higher financial well-being, and why having some savings helps households handle unexpected expenses. Now, I want to reframe how you think about this money, because most people hear emergency fund and they imagine a sad pile of cash that just sits there doing nothing. And that's why they never build it. They treat it like punishment. But the first 10,000 is not a Black Day fund. It's not a doom fund. It's an opportunity fund. An opportunity fund means you can say yes to things that move your life forward. A certification, a course, a move to a better city, a few months to switch careers, a better computer to earn more. It means you can negotiate like an adult, not like a hostage. When you have zero savings, every decision is forced. When you have savings, decisions become choices. And here's the part no one tells you. The first 10,000 is also where your relationship with stress changes. I'm not going to promise it cures insomnia, because that's not how health works. But research does link financial strain and worry to stress processes and sleep outcomes. There are studies exploring how financial strain relates to cortisol patterns and how financial stress shows up biologically and behaviorally. The point is simple. When money is constantly tight, your brain stays on alert, like it's waiting for danger. A buffer tells your nervous system we can handle surprises. That changes your baseline. So how do you get to 10,000 without relying on motivation, hustle culture, or pretending you enjoy eating plain rice for 6 months? You build it the same way we built the payday routine in the first video, with a system. Because willpower is a battery, and it dies. Step 1 is naming it correctly. If you call it emergency fund, it feels like fear. Call it opportunity fund. Same money, different meaning. One name makes you feel restricted. The other name makes you feel powerful. Step 2 is separating it. This is important. If your savings live in the same account as your spending money, your brain will keep negotiating with it. It'll just take a little. It'll replace it next month. This is kind of an emergency. No, put it on a separate account, separate bucket, separate place. The goal is to make it harder to touch and easier to grow. Step 3 is automating the first move. The most effective saving strategy for normal people is not discipline. It's automation right after payday. Not whatever is left. Not if I feel like it. Right after payday. Preferably the next day when the emotions cool down. Even small, consistent transfers add up. The system is what matters, not the heroic amount. And if you're thinking, but I can't save much, good. Perfect. Start with the smallest number you want. Quit. $20, $10, whatever. The goal is to train the identity, I pay future me first. Once that identity is installed, increasing the amount is easy. Installing the identity is the hard part. Now let's make this real with a simple timeline. Because 10,000 sounds big until you turn it into a plan. If you save $50 a week, that's about $200 a month, and you hit 10,000 in around 4 years. If you save $100 a week, you're at 10,000 in about 2 years. If you combine saving with one income upgrade like one extra gig a month, one negotiation, one skill that adds even a small raise, the timeline compresses fast. The point isn't the exact math. The point is that the first 10,000 is not a dream. It's a project. Here's the rule that makes it work. You don't try to save 10,000 all at once. You build levels. Level 1 is your first $1,000. That's your life punches me buffer. Level 2 is $2,000. There's evidence that even a couple thousand in emergency savings is associated with meaningfully higher financial well-being for many households. Level 3 is 1 month of expenses. Level 4 is 3 months. And 10,000 is a clean psychological number that often represents, I can survive surprises and still function. Also a warning, do not turn this fund into an investment account. People love to overcomplicate this. Should I invest my emergency fund? The job of this fund is not you rich. The job of this fund is to be there on a bad day, immediately, without risk, without drama. Liquidity and safety are the point. So what do you do today, right now, if you want this to become real? 3 steps. First, open a separate savings bucket and name it Opportunity Fund. Second, set an automatic transfer for the day after payday. Third, pick a first target that's small but meaningful, $1,000 or $2,000, and celebrate that target when you hit it, because it changes your life more than you expect. And here's the final mindset shift. $1 million is a flex goal. $10,000 is a freedom goal. $1 million is about status. 10,000 is about control. It's the moment life stops feeling like a constant emergency and you stop playing defense. If you want, comment your current savings level and your biggest fear expense, the thing that would mess up your month if it happened tomorrow. I'll reply with a simple, realistic plan to reach your first $10,000 without hating your life. This is Finance and Donnie. No shame, just systems.